Just recently, the Atari CEO has announced they are back.
Sorry, I had to laugh at that. There's an Atari CEO. Alright, my bad.
They are back in the hardware business.
I don't know if we can make it through this one. Okay, go ahead.
They are back. Atari showed off a 21-second tease with a website URL named Atari Box. Did any of you see the 21-second tease? Little teaser. It showed a little of the wood, the old school wood.
I just read about it. The old school wood.
The old school wood.
Making its comeback on Viagra.
Pulled directly from that fucking New Mexico dump.
Of the E.T., yeah. After they found those E.T., which is a great documentary on Netflix, if it's still there, that I watched.
Well, again, another example of, no, we never did that. We never did that. He's got a fucking backhoe. Here you go. Oh, look, we found them all. Oh, it wasn't just a fucking urban myth. Wow.
So a little bit of background of Atari. Their last console, the Jaguar, was released in 1993. Did anyone play the Jaguar?
I did.
Holy shit. What is it? Well, what was it?
It's a piece of shit.
Rich, what the fuck was the Atari Jaguar?
Around the time of the TurboGrafx 16, and had a bigger controller that looked a lot like the original Xbox's football style controller. So like a half circle, and had like a phone keypad for all the buttons. And some of the games would come with a sheet that would fit into some notches, so that you would press like left, right, up, down, jump. You'd be actually pushing the number behind them, but because of this sheet that's over them, it looks like you're pressing a jump button that has like a caveman's face on it or something like that. So they would do the different games, they would have that, and then other ones you just knew that it was like, oh, okay. Like when you're playing on the PC, you know that like the 8 keys, the up key, when you're playing on the keypad. So it was that kind of thinking. But it's that kind of thinking when you're trying to talk to kids who don't do PC gaming. You know, it's confusing. And this is a time where it was A, B, select, and start was the most buttons you had seen on a machine. Maybe the SNES, you were getting
during that time.
Left and right bumpers. And, you know, all of a sudden you've got 15 buttons to press, and they're all, like, collected together. Nobody knew what the hell to do with the thing. And it was hard to find, and it was, I think when it came out, it was probably $900 at that time.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
It's expensive.
And that was that money. So when you do, you know, inflation. You're talking $1,200-$1,300 possibly.
Yeah.
And Mo, what was your experience with the Jaguar?
Very confusing as well. Because if you bought these games and you lost the little pad, the little slip pad, then all you had is buttons. Yeah. And you wouldn't know what the fuck to push. Like, I forgot the name of that stupid game with the face and the spaceship. Where did you learn to fly? I hated that fucking game. But that's because I didn't have the slip cover. Like I lost it somehow.
No, and if I remember, like this is when they really started doing. It was like that Apple kind of mentality of everything was proprietary. You couldn't mix and match, and there were no third-party vendors making like extra cables and stuff. So it was like you buy the system, but the AC adapter is another $30, and your TV connection's another $15.
Yeah.
Oh. You got a controller, but, you know, these are all, like, 2-player games or whatever. You got to do that.
And in reality, if I remember correctly, I don't remember any of the games being memorable. Being miserable, not memorable.
No, and it didn't last that long. Either.
No, it didn't.
No, it had a short lifespan.
And remember, this wasn't Atari. This is the first time that they had gotten bought out. And we're going to use this game, or this name as our brand and try to do something. And, again, I don't know why you keep trotting out this brand. It has not meant anything to anybody in 30 years other than failure. So I don't know why you keep trying. Nobody keeps releasing the Pinto. We all kind of went, no, it was a waste. It means no go in Spanish. So got rid of the damn thing. You don't keep calling it. Hey, it's the failure box. Anybody want to buy it? It's only $850. Come on, pre-orders now.
I already got my pre-order in.
Exactly.
I already got my pre-order in.
Failure of legacy.
So, that was their last console. I'm surprised that it didn't last very well if you had 2 experiences. Why it didn't make it big.
It's terrible.
So, Atari went bankrupt in 2013. The latest It went
Yeah,
bankrupt.
that was like the 4th iteration of the Atari.
In 2013, was rescued by the current CEO. When he rescued him from bankruptcy, vowed to bring greatness back to the Atari name. That was his vow.
Make TNA great again, right?
There we go. So
Maybe that's what they need, the GFW box. Maybe that would fix Atari.
Get Eric Bischoff over there.
There you go.
There you go.
Brother.
So now, this has been years in development, so they asked, is this going to be like an old school, like the NES Classic? So he says the Atari Box will be based on technology found in a PC and has been in development for years. And will share more information about the console at a later date. So the news broke, new Atari game console with PC technology. It looks like they're going to try and compete with Microsoft and Sony.
Oh. DOA already.
Yeah, I think...
No chance, no hope.
I just think it's the wrong way to go and to start something that's been dead for so long in the
You've
water.
been working on it for years and you're using mix and match PC parts and you still don't have anything to show for it. Who are you aligned with? Because I know that Games for Windows and Steam pretty much own the whole PC culture.
Yeah.
So you're going to make your own alternative that nobody's ever heard of other than, again, brand of failure. So you're gonna be the third alternative because everybody knows, you use iTunes, you use Spotify, you used to use Pandora, and then you use what? Everybody else that's come up has lasted as a blip and then they disappear because you're not iTunes. Right? Pandora's going away now. Spotify is kind of iffy. iTunes was the first and biggest name, and they maintain that until whatever change in distribution we come up with.
So this latest announcement of the Atari Box, is there enough of a market for another console?
No.
It's going to be difficult for them, I'll tell you that
Well, we
much.
don't even know what they're trying to sell. Are they making their own games? Are they contacting third parties? Are they going to be like their version of the Steam box where they use the Steam architecture to roll out those games that are in a home console experience? Because the Steam box fell flat on its ass too. So
It did. Really did. I mean, there's so many... There are possibilities, but there's also a lot of bad things that can happen as well. I think they should hold back a little bit before thinking about.
I don't think there's anything. I think this is vaporware.
True, but
I think it's just an announcement to get attention because he spent money buying the IP, buying the marketing, the brand, and he doesn't know how to run the business or how to get it over because, like I said, it's a brand of failure. So he wanted to announce something hoping that people would be so nostalgic that they'd be singing his praises, but nobody gave a shit.
I feel that he should have gone the Sega route.
Well, weren't they Atari games being made?
Yeah, but they weren't Atari games because there isn't an Atari games. It's Vivendi had bought them out and put the logo and that title on stuff that they were making to try to trick you into thinking that it's an Atari. But it's not a brand. Again, it's calling something that doesn't actually exist anymore. It's my argument with Rare. You bought all the IP, but the staff doesn't remain. And you're not... The stuff that they were really known for, you don't own the rights to because they were licensed, like James Bond and stuff like that. Banjo-Kazooie is kind of...
BioWare?
It's same thing that happened. Same thing that happened with Hudson Soft. Konami bought them, and guess what? They're nowhere to be sound, heard, or anything.
Yep.
Who knows if they even have some of the team? And they do have some of the team. They're working on slot machines. So.
Yeah, they're not the team anymore. They split off into multiple
and if
different
you remember,
things.
Hudson Soft was one of the haymakers of Nintendo back in the day. So. I mean, there's so, like I said, there's a lot of vague information that trying to come into this market now is going to be super tough. I don't know how they
Based off the name itself, as in trustworthy name. If I buy this, is this console going to be dead in 2 years? And
that's why I'm saying this is already a bad idea because it's already got that stigma to it.
Yeah.
And the people that it matters to, they don't care anymore because they've moved on. I'm one of those guys that owned it. I was alive when it was still being sold in stores at full price, not a discount or a pawn shop or anything like that. I don't give a fuck. And I'm a legit legacy gamer. I care about the history. I don't want this stuff to just disappear from our culture. I don't give a fuck. Go away. You've been gone for decades. Get the fuck out of here. If you're really this good at running your business, you don't need that crappy brand as an anchor around your neck. Go and make your own thing, and I will notice that it's awesome. Just like I did when BioWare first caught my attention. I didn't know who the fuck they were, and then they became a good brand until they weren't. And everybody goes through those things. But it's not... We don't have...
Mass Effect Andromeda.
We don't really... Other than Nintendo, we don't really have a legacy of multiple decades of someone staying consistent growth. And I argue whether that's legit or if it's manipulated.
What about Sony? You think they're close?
Sony, no. They're the closest, but remember, they were late in the game. Sega had that, but they had their huge failure. They survived it, but they do have that huge black mark. As far as someone that is consistently grown, even the Wii U, they survived that, I think, fairly easily, and that was a big fall on their face. Nintendo is one of those. Plus, they had, almost a century before they were actually a video game company. So,
and I think, I don't know if they just want to throw something out there, like, because they see a pattern. Oh, well, this gaming system kind of failed during this. We can make a comeback. Like,
the NES Classic sold, so let's announce our thing.
Right.
It's not the same.
It's just, I don't know. That name has to be just refixed as a general. So
that's what they're trying to do, is bring greatness back to the Atari name.
How they're gonna market so many years of bullshit is...
No, but it's the whole idea of, that there are people in the world who have the last name Hitler. And I hate to use this because it's the extremist version, but it's one of those, there's not a way to rehab it. You can win the Nobel Peace Prize, you can have the cure for cancer, AIDS, and it's cost effective. Like, someone gives you 10 cents and they can be completely inoculated from every major disease we have, and they still wouldn't be the first Hitler that comes to mind. It's just one of those, when someone is that far out of line, when they have such a big failure or slap in the face, that bad press cannot be overcome no matter how much good gets built on top of it. That bad is going to stink a lot more than the good will shine. Yeah. And that's the problem. They don't understand that. They think that Atari is this lovable brand. It wasn't. That was before brands really meant anything. It's just, we know it from its place in history, but it never really achieved greatness. It was just the first. It's Washington, well, the first president. Yeah, what did he do? He was the first president. I know he did other things, but I mean, when most Americans are asked, it's our first president. How many things are named after him? Our fucking capital in this nation is named after him. What did he do? Give me one piece of legislature that he put through. Nobody can, or very few can, I should say, because it didn't matter. He was just the first.
He's on my dollar bills. Making it rain at Cheetahs.
That's all they're going to say.
I use quarters.
Pennies.
Ching, 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 ching.
Fucking pennies. We'll see. It's very vague, whatever they show and what their strategy is.
Yeah.
You can't just have a high-powered machine, Microsoft and Sony, and like, hey, we can compete. Oh, we have 4K. What is that going to do? It's going to be $800, $900. We will see, but we kind of hinted towards it before. I want an ET remastered version. ET remastered launch game. ET. Take that license.
Hysterical.
We all want it. We've all played ET before.
Yeah. Steven Spielberg does not want it.
No, he really doesn't.
ET remastered. And another game that I liked, Missile Command.
Yeah.
A revamped version. I actually was thinking about it. I want that in VR, actually. That would be cool.
I would think Missile Command would be awesome. You know how you had the three missile silos? I think it would be cool if you had like a co-op where each missile silo was one of your friends and you just control that. I think that would be awesome. And then VR would be awesome if all three of you are using VR and you're all talking to each other and just shooting down.
Because VR, because you can do co-op in Farpoint in VR, so it is possible. And Star Trek is co-op, all four VR. But the Atari,
what's four people?
What?
In Star Trek?
Okay.
Oh, what did I say?
Are you running again? Are you running again?
Running again?
Yeah.
I don't know what I said. What happened?
I don't know.
What did it sound like I said?
Star Trek.
Are you running?
Fuck me.
I was like, are you running again on
God damn it.
Rainbow Road?
No, come on. May the force be with you.
Star Trek.
Thank you.
But also in Atari news, just last week, or on June 10th, I believe, At Games is releasing an Atari Flashback console that is similar to the Nintendo Classic, which they already had a few of these, but it looks like they're putting some in better. So it's the Atari Flashback 8 Gold being released in September. 120 built-in Atari 2600 games, 2 wireless controllers, 2 controller ports for wired play, 720 HDMI output with scanline filtering, and featured to save, pause, and rewind for $79.99. 120 built-in Atari, $80. That's the Flashback Gold. They have an Atari Flashback 8 for $20 cheaper with 105 built-in games with 20 wired controllers.
With how many?
2 wired. It's wired.
Wired.
So the 8 is $20 more. You get 15 more games and they're wireless. Atari Flashback 8, but here it is. The Atari Flashback Portable Game Player.
Oh, God.
Portable
This
Game
is starting
Player.
to sound like a gimmick.
No. Portable Game Player. 70 games, and additional games can be added with an SD card. This is $59.99. But here's the catch. Not a catch, as in this is competing with the Switch. It supports TV output with extra cable. So you can take it on the go and play it on your TV with a cable. Pre-orders open in retailers in July for these 3.
I'm sure it's going to sell right out.
Oh.
So, where does the line start? I'm waiting to wait 4 hours in line again so I can play. Behind me.
He'll be first.
No, he'll be fourth.
This might be on my
Always
Christmas list, actually. I'm
Yeah.
gonna ask the wifey. We can play Atari.
But which one are you going to ask? There's so many options.
I
don't know
know.
what to pick.
I can have the portable game player attached to my TV. No, I want the Flashback 8 Gold, 120 built-in games.
I'm just trying to think. I mean, is it possible for me to flush all 3 of them down the toilet at the same time? I don't know.
So that's At Games. So Atari in the news. At Games bringing these 2 Flashback consoles, 1 portable, and then their new console. So Atari's back. Atari is back. You guys will play with me, right?
No.
If I get the Atari, we'll play.
You can get the
2-player?
portable, and you can be on the toilet while you're taking a shit on them, and then you can throw that one in. It'll be good.
And then throw the Switch right afterwards and just flush those down the
Why am I spending this money? I could be putting these young girls through college. Why am I spending it on these crappy consoles that nobody wants to play? If they want to play those games in the first place, you wouldn't have gone bankrupt in the first place.
Because somebody who hates you is going to give you a stocking stuffer.
So I'm just going to say, Steve, you shouldn't have. No, really, you shouldn't have.
We'll play. We'll have a night. We'll have a slumber party. Play some 100. We have 120 games to play.
We'll go through them in 5 minutes.
No, it's going to be like 1-2 switch. You play the 2 that you kind of think are okay, and then you never touch it again. Until you sucker some new people come over. Hey! Want to play Quick Draw with me?
So we said the joke about the NES Classic that I want my kids to play, and I did play the Atari 2600 at my grandfather's. We had the Atari, and what about if my kids think the NES Classic sucks?
Wait till they play that one.
The Atari.
Every time you want to punish them, you force them to play that piece of shit.
Yeah.
The Atari, 1 button and a joystick. There you go, son.
You should be like, you're grounded until you can solve this game with 1 button.
Yeah. You're ungrounded until you beat E.T., motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to be sitting there like, this game fucking sucks. They're all crying.
Yeah. I'll give you $20 if you beat this
I'm
game.
going to give him a little shovel. Tell him, point him towards New Mexico, where the landfill is. You got to get a copy of the game, come back, play it. Because it's not even included in the
Because
120.
E.T. is not on the list of 120 built-in games. But so that was in the news for Atari doing the flat because everyone thought they're doing a flashback, but at games, so they're doing these flashback consoles based off the NES Classic.
I wonder, are they using these flashbacks to justify the new, like the spend of the new hardware?
That's their GoFundMe.
So
God
research and
forbid these
development.
don't sell, and then they won't have a new console.
Research and
their-
development.
This
going
is
into
their
the new
GoFundMe.
console.
Damn it.
This is how they do GoFundMe.
Oh yeah, this is their Kickstarter. Except
Yeah, their Kickstarter. It's selling this
They
game.
didn't
So
have
if you
the
buy
pride to
one,
say, hey.
we'll have you down for the pre-order for the new Atari box.
Sign me up. With the Atari game console, we'll get more information until we get more judgment. Again, it was just announced by CEO, bringing greatness name back to the Atari.
You'll see the next
brand.
Duke Nukem before you see another Atari console.
So you don't think it's going to happen? You just think it's just to get
I think
news?
it's wishful thinking, but he can't back it up.
And if it does happen, good luck to them.
I don't know who's gonna support it.
That's
don't know who's
why I
gonna be on
said.
there.
That's why I said good luck to them. I mean, just,
Again, that's if I'm justifying, I'm building for Sony, I'm building for Xbox. Now I got a code for Atari too. You know how many of them are actually available PC, Xbox, and PlayStation? When it's PC, it's Xbox because of the games for Windows
Right.
architecture. If they're going to go another way, that's either Steam or a third. That's more people that need to be building it. That's more expenditure for people on an untested, and like I said, a failure of a brand.
that's what I'm saying. Like, if they do pull out a machine like this, who's gonna like get behind them? Like, we got console exclusive. No, it's gonna be another world exclusive.
Yeah,
World exclusive.
Atari box.
Those are our reactions to the announcement by the CEO of supposedly the Atari Box, a new Atari console. Please let us know in the comments below what you feel about a new Atari console and would you buy the Atari Box?